The campus was just beautiful. I was like, oh, the grass is green.
Interestingly, my earliest memory of GCC is I actually grew up across the street from GCC on a farm over there. We knew it as the Smith Ranch, not the Swirl Ranch, because of the people who lived there. Dick Smith was the owner of the land. My brother and I used to come up here just to kind of roam around, play hide and seek, just be on the property. Mr. Smith was always very tolerant of that.
Here on the main campus is certainly the architecture that harkens back to the 1960s when it was built, because I feel at home here. This is the landscape and what I'm used to when I used to come here as a kid with my parents to visit our family. It's very 60s, 70s Phoenix. I think it's calm and peaceful and just lovely. So anytime I'm walking around campus, I pay extra attention to the architecture, and I just feel the calm and peace and beauty that we can offer here.
Supportive climates are very warm and sunny and just gives you good feels and good vibes. So it's a lot like the weather. So the weather here on campus, which made it really unique, is that it was definitely a place where I felt like the sun was shining when I came onto campus.
My favorite spot on the whole campus was the Fine Arts building. Greatest place in the world.
One of the places that we would go on campus was we would just go out into the grass areas. We would have picnics out there. We would have birthday parties. People could just get out, get a little sun.
It's not a day that goes by that I don't run into somebody who has an extraordinary story to tell me about how they made an impact in a student's life, or how a student made an impact in another student's life, or how they just came together to help one another through the journey that they're having here.
My name is Kim Sertich, and I was a student at Glendale Community College in 1982 through 1984. My fondest memory at GCC was when I was the editor of the newspaper, The Voice. The faculty advisor for The Voice was Jerry Fiedler, and she was probably the best teacher I've ever had in my life. She was nurturing and patient, and she really had a way to cultivate the talent of the staff on the newspaper so that she was playing to their strengths.
A faculty member that influenced me probably the most would be Jerry Fiedler. I spent almost every minute at that campus in that newsroom with Ms. Fiedler, who was a real inspiration in my life.
My fondest memory of being at GCC is the classroom. I always enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed the classroom. I enjoyed the communication and the camaraderie of the students, the vibrant atmospheres.
The community at Glendale Community College, I think, was so important and interesting because it brought together an incredible cross-section of life. Different people of different ages, of different socioeconomics, at different stages in their life. So it really got me ready for the real world in ways that I can barely measure.
Needless to say, I was a non-traditional student. I started here about 2 months before I turned 45. When I got out of high school, I just wasn't ready for college and made the choice not to go. I eventually did get into a career in technology. I was a programmer, but I'd always regretted that decision of not going to college. And it was my dad that encouraged me. He's like, go do it. And I found GCC, and I came here. And through the professors, the coursework, my fellow students who became friends, that interest in cyber really became a passion. And I loved it. It was amazing. It changed my world.
My dad went here. I go, I'll give it a go. And I was amazed at how wonderful it was. I found that it doesn't matter where you go to college, it matters who the teachers are. And everything hinged on that. And one in particular was Darlie Goto.
He was a student in my drawing class. He was always interested in space. He always had paintings and drawings of spacecraft in a folder he would bring to class. He was quiet, but he knew even then what he wanted to do.
She's more very stylized with natural art. She really liked the way trees looked in art form and flowers and that type of thing. And so when I brought up the sci-fi stuff, she really jumped all over. She goes, I've never thought about things this way. And so she'd go, okay, everything on this table is a spaceship. How are you going to make it a spaceship? A water bottle, what have you? And it was an exercise that I use to this day. I wouldn't have my career if it wasn't for her.
When I started, I was supposed to do electrical things, like electrician, right? And I walked in and I'm like, oh, this film stuff is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't in my bucket list, nor was it in my, in my list of anything where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a filmmaker growing up. For me, it was like, I got out of high school. I didn't really want to do college, especially university. But my dad was like, yeah, just go to like a community college. It's like, okay. Tried it out, and then, yeah, first things first, like, got a taste of the film life, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty neat. Like, I love this. Yeah.
I would have to give a shout out to Professor Kirt Shineman, who was definitely the person who impacted me. During my time as a student, he was director of speech and debate, and he was in charge of managing a team of college students into the world of speech and debate. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions that I have made in my life. So I will say that to so many people. Coming here was the best decision for me. To me, GCC is opportunity for me. It opens so many doors for me on so many different levels, especially being a first-gen college student.
As a young adult, you're starting life. You're just trying to figure out, like, what stepping stones do I have to take to get where I want? And the great thing about community colleges, especially like here at GCC, it's like they give you your stepping stones, but they tell you make new ones.
But it was just, how you just feel something?
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And honestly, I would never have been where I am today. It was the people I met, the skills I learned, and it was like, you look back and you think that was the moment that just changed your life.
After I finished my 4-year, I got a call saying, hey, we got this $1 million grant and we're setting up the Security Operations Center and we're gonna staff it with students. But I need some people to run it. I need an engineer. What do you think? And it took me no time at all. I'm in. I'm going. Let's do it. Because this is like home to me. It's the people here are like family.
Even when my day's a little rough or there's some challenges that we're trying to struggle through, I'm enheartened by the idea or the knowledge that there's so many good people here and everyone is trying their best to make this a really good community for our students and everyone who lives around us.
I think what I find particularly unique about GCC is engagement with the surrounding community. GCC just isn't not only in the community, it is of the community too, which I just love by the community.
Yeah.
And branching off your term family, it was, because it's small and everyone is here because they want to be. And like you being a student and then a teacher, I bet you inspire so many people all day long because you have the way you speak and you present that passion of sharing that stuff. I'm sure people walk where you go, in 20 years they're going to go, remember that?
One of my students asked me a couple of weeks ago, they were like, what made you decide that you wanted to become a professor? And my gut reaction was I wanted to give back to students because I received so much from the faculty here. And I wanted to give back to the students. And I also wanted to be an advocate for community college and just, let students know that there are individuals here who were former students and who can speak to the experience. I was sitting in the same seats you were in. I'm teaching in the same classrooms that we used to be in. Some of the professors that I had back in the day, they're still here as well. My heart is with this campus. And I tell people I never left. And, and I'm proud of that fact.
I'd like to say happy anniversary, GCC. We are both 60 years old this year, so happy 60th anniversary to Glendale Community College.